Caves of Keshcoran may be the most dramatic ancient location in all of Ireland. The massive limestone Kesh Mountain has a horizontal line of cave openings on the southwest side, which can be seen from far away. The Caves of Kesh have long been famous in Irish mythology. They are said to be the doorway to the house of Finn McCool, the leader of the Fianna. What, you ask, is the Fianna? Who was Finn McCool? Well, let me tell you the story of this legendary warrior and what the connection is to the Keshcoran Caves. Come with me as we explore this beautiful ancient site. Maybe we will find a way into the hidden world of the Sidhe. Before I tell you about Finn McCool and the Fianna, let me give you some context. Let's go back to about 7,500 BC, specifically to the Battle of Tailtea. This was an epic battle between humans and the tribes of the goddess Danu, or the fairies. Now, I know what you're thinking. When I say fairies, you probably think of the modern Disney pasteurized version of the adorable little winged creatures that are basically good to humans and here to please. But Irish fairies are nothing of the sort. Some even put them right up there with demons, but that's not true either. Demons are a separate group altogether, and although fairies are not known for their kindness, demons are on another level. The Battle of Tailtea, which took place in what is now Telltown in County Meath, was a battle between the invading fairies, demons, and humans to see who would rule the surface lands. As the battle raged on, humans began to win, so the fairies decided to retreat underground and leave the surface to the humans. The demons, however, they were determined to win or die. The demon warlocks soon realized that the humans were winning, so they tried to use a time spell to freeze time. Long story short, this didn't work as they expected it, and they were defeated. Meanwhile, the fairies established their kingdom underground. To get to their world, you find fairy doors, mainly in trees and forests all over Ireland. They come out on moonlit nights or special occasions, such as Samhain, or, as we know it now, Halloween, when the barriers between worlds becomes very thin and fairies, demons, and ghosts cross over into the human world. Fast forward a few thousand years and you find the Fianna. The Fianna came about after the Celtic invasion of Ireland around 500 BC. The Fianna are groups of warrior hunters in Gaelic Ireland during the Iron Age and early Middle Ages. These were free men and women that did not own land, so they lived in the wild, hunting, stealing cattle from other Irish clans, training and fighting as mercenaries. They are part of Irish legend, especially around the adventures of the heroic deeds of Finn McCool. So who is this legendary Finn McCool? He was a hero in Irish mythology, but what few people know is that he was also a poet. He would hunt with his two dogs, and the stories we see today are mostly narrated by his son, Oisin. In Old Irish, Finn means white or bright or even handsome. Mac means son of, and Cool was the name of his father, so his name was White Son of Cool. Some legends say that he got his name, Finn, from his hair having turned white when he was still very young. The most popular accounts of his death say that he actually never died, but he is sleeping in a cave surrounded by the Fianna, and one day he will awaken to defend Ireland when the country needs him the most. Some legends say that to awaken him, the Fianna must sound their hunting horns 3 times. So if you hear a hunting horn sounding 3 times, that might just be the call for Finn to come back and fight for Ireland. Now, what does all this have to do with the Keshcoran Caves? Well, this is a great question because to understand that, we need to look at the legend of Keshcoran. Keshcorin is known as the birthplace of Ireland's most famous High King, Cormac Mac Art, who ruled over Ireland during what they called the Celtic Golden Age. After Cormac's father, Art, was killed by an usurper, his mother fled back to her own people who lived around Kesh. She was pregnant and gave birth to Cormac by a spring at the foot of the mountain. Legend has it that she fell into a deep sleep, and while she slept, a she-wolf came and took the baby and cared for him as one of her own cubs. Cormac spent his first 7 years with the wolves. He was eventually found and returned to his mother's family. When he discovered who his father was, Cormac set off to the city of Tara, accompanied by his wolves. The druids and nobles recognized him as the son of Art, and he became the High King of Ireland. With that, the Fianna, the national army of Ireland, was brought to its full power, led by the warrior Finn McCool. Finn McCool and the Fianna often hunted and camped around the slopes of Keshcorin. Archaeologists have found evidence of a large Celtic settlement there with some 20 ring forts. A tale called The Enchanted Cave of Keshcorin is a story of an occasion when the Fianna were hunting wild boar in the area. Finn and Conan were watching the hunt from the cairn on top of the mountain. Unfortunately, Finn neglected to ask permission for the hunt from the Conoran, who ruled the fairy palace inside one of the caves. So Conoran sent his 3 daughters, the 3 witches or hags of Keshcorin, to set a trap for Finn and his men. As he was sitting on the cairn, a cave opened on its side. When he went to investigate, the hags jumped out and tied him with magic ropes, which transformed him from a warrior into a weak old man. They also attracted and captured the rest of his warriors, trapping them inside the cairn. Luckily, the spell was broken when a ferocious Go Mac Morna arrived and beheaded the witches after a fierce battle with them. If you're enjoying the story so far, a sub to the channel would be legendary. Please also leave a like and a comment, that really helps me out. So, as you can see, the caves are very special as they tie the history of Ireland to one of Ireland's most legendary warriors, Finn McCool, to the Fianna, to the Sidhe, which is the underworld of the fairies. It is even said that Manannán mac Lir, the Lord of the Sea, resides in a hidden lake inside Keshcorin. Not only is it a beautiful site with stunning views with beautiful caves you can explore, but the surrounding area is steeped in history with the ring forts and cairns from before written history existed in these ancient lands. The trail is quite easy to follow and you can explore most of the caves, but as always, be prepared. Rain can fall at any moment and that makes the trek a bit more slippery and tricky. So wear waterproof clothing and appropriate shoes. I'm not much for cave explorations, so tell me down in the comments what you think of the caves in the area and if you would explore them. If you have visited, tell me down in the comments of your experiences. I really like to read them. On your way up, keep an eye out for fairy doors and other signs of the Sidhe. If you see something out of the corner of your eye, it just might be a fairy or another creature from the underworld watching and observing you to see what you are up to. Trust me, you don't want to cross them. Don't bring back souvenirs either, that's bad luck. Leave everything as it was when you found it. To see more of Ireland's amazing sights, check out my playlists and other videos on the channel. But if you want to learn more about the fairies of Ireland, then the next video you want to watch is about Knockma Forest and Castle Hackett. Check that video out next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next one.